Creating accessible websites for users with disabilities. Introduction. In today's digital age, it's essential for websites to be accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. Accessible websites ensure that everyone, regardless of their abilities, can navigate and interact with online content effectively. In this guide, we'll explore how to create accessible websites for users with disabilities. Understand accessibility guidelines. Familiarize yourself with accessibility guidelines and standards, such as the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG, developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C. These guidelines outline best practices for making web content perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust for users with disabilities. Use semantic HTML. Utilize semantic HTML elements to structure web content in a meaningful and accessible way. Use headings, paragraphs, lists, and other semantic elements to organize content logically and improve navigation for screen reader users. Avoid relying solely on visual cues such as color or formatting to convey information. Provide alternative text for images. Include descriptive alternative text, alt text, for images to provide context and meaning for users who are blind or visually impaired. Alt text should succinctly describe the content or purpose of the image, conveying essential information that users would miss if the image were not visible. Ensure keyboard accessibility. Ensure that all website functionalities and interactive elements are accessible via keyboard navigation. Users with mobility impairments or dexterity limitations may rely on keyboard navigation instead of a mouse or touch input. Make sure that all links, buttons, form fields, and other interactive elements are reachable and operable using keyboard shortcuts and tab navigation. Design for color contrast. Use sufficient color contrast between text and background colors to ensure readability for users with low vision or color blindness. Aim for a contrast ratio of at least 4.5, 1 for normal text and 3:1 for large text, as recommended by WCAG. Avoid relying solely on color to convey information or distinguish elements. Provide captions and transcripts for multimedia. Include captions, transcripts, or audio descriptions for multimedia content such as videos and audio recordings. Captions provide synchronized text descriptions of spoken dialogue and sound effects, making multimedia content accessible to users who are deaf or hard of hearing. Transcripts offer a textual version of the audio content, allowing users to read the information instead of listening to it. Ensure form accessibility. Make web forms accessible by providing clear labels, instructions, and error messages. Use semantic markup for form elements and associate labels with form controls using the for attribute. Ensure that form fields are programmatically associated with their labels to facilitate screen reader navigation and comprehension. Test with assistive technologies. Test your website's accessibility using assistive technologies such as screen readers, magnification software, and keyboard navigation tools. Conduct accessibility audits and usability tests with users who have disabilities to identify barriers and usability issues. Address feedback and make necessary improvements to enhance accessibility. Provide accessibility features and options. Offer accessibility features and options that allow users to customize their browsing experience according to their needs and preferences. Provide options for adjusting text size, color contrast, and keyboard shortcuts. Allow users to skip repetitive content or navigate to specific sections of the website using landmarks or headings. Stay updated and educated. Stay informed about emerging accessibility trends, technologies, and best practices by participating in web accessibility communities, attending workshops, and following industry publications. Continuously educate yourself and your team about accessibility principles and techniques to ensure ongoing compliance and improvement. Conclusion. Creating accessible websites for users with disabilities is not only a legal requirement but also a moral imperative and good business practice. By following these guidelines, including understanding accessibility guidelines, using semantic HTML, providing alternative text for images, ensuring keyboard accessibility, designing for color contrast, providing captions and transcripts for multimedia, ensuring form accessibility, testing with assistive technologies, providing accessibility features and options, and staying updated and educated, you can make your website inclusive and welcoming to all users. Remember that accessibility is an ongoing process, and it's essential to prioritize and integrate accessibility considerations into every stage of web development and design.